What's up, everybody? It's your boy Corey, aka GQ Saint, back with another reaction video. This is gonna be another top 10 from Watch Mojo. This is the best and worst changes of the Resident Evil 3 remake. Yeah, they definitely changed quite a bit of some stuff. Yeah, my only downside of this game is when it's short. I mean, it's so short. Well, ain't that short, but still, it feel like more 4 hours of gameplay. I expected a little bit longer, like Resident Evil 2 remake. The Resident Evil 2 remake, that was a great game. Yeah, I still prefer that one over this one. This is my own personal opinion. Some of you may disagree with me, but it's just the way I feel. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Plus, let's just go dive onto the video because it's kind of long. I don't want to say too much for people who haven't played, which you haven't. You should by now. It's been out for a while now, so let's go. Once again, drop a comment and let me know what you want to react to. Let's get it.
Bringing the Nemesis to modern-day consoles.
See, I'm in a different environment because the other environment
but the transition wasn't without a few hiccups
kind of off.
along
It
the way.
just kind of blurred. This one's a much better picture.
And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 best and worst changes made to the Resident Evil 3 remake.
Commitment, honesty, integrity, these are the core values that create the foundation for Umbrella.
No, world
For this
domination.
list, we'll be looking at the 5 most significant improvements to the game, as well as 5 changes that didn't land quite right. Since we're going into late game details here, be wary of spoilers ahead.
Hey, you ain't played the game, you ain't played the game. That's all I gotta say for now.
RPD's overrun too.
Then figure it out.
Number 5, worst. Carlos's hospital defense.
I did not like this mission.
The less entry points, the better.
How do we do that?
I'll try hacking into the hospital security system. Keep them off me in the meantime.
While Carlos going into the hospital to search for a vaccine for Jill was in the original,
Yeah.
it's what happened after he got the vaccine that was different. In the original, bombs were placed in the hospital foyer, completely obliterating the building.
I was expecting to blow the hospital
This time the
while I played
hospital
this
was left
mission.
standing, but now Carlos has to defend the room Tyrell and Jill are barricaded in from an endless wave of zombies. This drastic shift in gameplay may have been intense in Resident Evil 4 when it was done there, but here this section feels tedious, as zombies are way too slow to pose any significant threat. It also goes on for way longer than it needs to.
Yeah, I'm like, shouldn't it be done by now?
Number 5, best. The initial escape.
Listen, you gotta get out of there.
Yeah, I actually like this one.
I don't have time to explain.
I like, okay, we dapping on in right now. Let's get it.
In the
Still hate
original,
Nemesis.
the only time we got to witness the carnage of the outbreak reach its peak was in the opening FMV. By the time we were given control of Jill, however, the carnage had mostly subsided, with zombies lingering everywhere.
I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters! Now leave me alone!
This
Hey,
time,
man, you want
we
to stay
get to
there? I'm
experience
trying
the
to
peak
ask
of
you
the
3
outbreak,
times. I'll leave
thanks
too.
to the surprise introduction by Nemesis himself. With panicked citizens in the streets and helicopters blazing overhead promising rescue, this was certainly a great way to get the events of the game rolling.
Sir, are you alright?
Stay back. Don't come any closer.
Hey, come on. There's a helicopter waiting to take you to safety.
What's
Dude started there,
I'm
Danny.
not going out there.
Number 4, worst.
Sorry about it, y'all.
Nemesis
Ass is so annoying.
beast form fights.
I had mixed feelings about this. I kind of like it, at the same time, it just didn't feel the same.
Credit where it's due,
When
the
my buddy
second form
played.
of the Nemesis is certainly more creative than just having a bunch of tentacles grow out of him like the original had. However, the problem isn't with his design, but how the game handles him from this point onwards. Part of what made the Nemesis so frightening in the original was that he could really come out when you least expect it.
Yeah,
But once his
that-
transformation
they
occurs,
kinda took
the
away
fear of the unknown is lost.
That
as the
transfer,
player
it
is
kind
now
of
forced into
somewhat
boss
took
fight
away
arena
from
with
that
him
purpose.
or QTE
Some of you guys might
segments.
like it. I
Not
had
helped
mixed
by
feelings.
the
I
fact
kind of
that
like at
two
the
of
same
his
time, like,
fights have very
this
similar
is
patterns
straight a little
that
bit.
can be easily read by the player.
Yeah.
So I'm high behind 7. Now.
Number 4, best. Tyrell Patrick.
We can't turn him over to the company. That's not our call to make. That's Mihail's call. I'm gonna check the computer, see if I can trace the doc's location.
By far one of the remake's biggest strengths over the original is that it allowed for many of the characters in this world to be far more fleshed out. and Tyrell clearly got the better
I think
treatment.
he got,
this
when I
time
first said,
around.
yeah, he got
In
bitten.
the original, depending on what room in the hospital Carlos visited first, Tyrell lasted for just one cutscene, in which he met an
Yeah.
explosive demise. This time, however, he is introduced fairly early on as Carlos's partner, and contributes a significant amount to the story, including traveling to the RPD and watching over Jill after she's been administered with the vaccine.
Morning, sunshine.
You saved my life.
I sure as shit didn't. That was all Carlos. He carried you here and he treated you himself.
I'm glad his role's a lot better.
Sadly,
Still sad the
his
way
fate
he
is still
died,
sealed
though.
in the game, but at least we got to know him more this time. Number 3, worst. Action set piece heavy.
Rocket launcher? Really?
This is something that certainly wasn't very present in the original. The game has a frequent amount of action set pieces thrown in that force the player to either run, fight, or perform QuickTime events. It even gets to the point where the Nemesis becomes less frightful than what he was the first time around. Unlike the original, if he aims the rocket launcher at you, you have to run down an alleyway, or you're forced to outrun him as he chases you. These sequences have less in common with Resident Evil 3, and seem more like something out of that disaster
Somewhat.
Resident Evil 6. Capcom, you are relapsing.
Yeah, Resident Evil 6, the only campaign I played and beat was Leon. I did not play anybody else's campaign.
Number 3,
Especially
best,
Chris, I
the
love Chris,
substation.
but they turned to like more of an action adventures, like straight from the roots.
Smells like...
Glad 7 actually helped them a lot.
While Jill needed to travel in the substation in both games to restore power to either a cable car or subway
Yeah.
train respectively, it's what she finds at her destination that's different. In the original, activating the breakers opened a set of shutters where she could find a fuse for the cable car. Oh, and a handful of zombies that she could barbecue. This time, however,
Those
a
all
swarm
made
of
me
insects,
laugh
known
just
as
when I was a
drain
kid.
demos, have turned the substation into their nest, forcing Jill to go deep into the heart of it to restore power to 4 breakers. This easily made for one of the most chilling and terrifying sequences
Yeah,
in
like,
the game,
what in the world?
and one that has left
I
us
thought she was
tense
going to die
on
when I
subsequent playthroughs.
first saw that. I was playing.
Number 2, worst, the railgun.
I somewhat like this one. I know the original one, the railgun was
In
different.
the original, the experimental railgun was a large stationary cannon, in which Jill had to lure the Nemesis into its line of fire. This time around though, the final battle has the railgun in handheld form, though I use the term handheld loosely. First off, look at the size of this thing! Considering the components it would be made of, you'd need at least 2 people to hold that thing steady.
True.
But that's not all. Look at what
Sorry, I was checking
happens
something on
when
my phone
Jill
right quick.
fires the weapon. You're telling me that this thing has a recoil powerful enough to shatter the concrete surrounding Jill? If that were the case, this thing would have shattered all the bones in her body. This
Yeah, I
absurdity is
mean-
right up there with Chris punching a boulder.
I was laughing at that part. Sorry, I was just checking something on my phone right quick. Yeah, buddy might say I should react to the video, which I'm doing right now. But yeah, looking at that railgun, I kind of like cool handheld it, but still, that's the only common spectrum. In real life terms, I know they try to make it realistic as possible. Real life terms, that will literally shatter your body, normal human body bones quite frequently. She will be unable to stand. I still liked it in a way. This their own, once again, this their own personal list, but let's go dive on back on in.
Capcom, you are relapsing.
Not on this one somewhere. Sorry about that, y'all.
Number
Remember
2,
that.
best. Carlos at the RPD.
This is the police station. You sure?
Yeah. Those,
Looks like a
Resident
cemetery
Evil
to me.
3 actually takes place
This one was
hours
certainly
before.
quite the shake-up. In the original,
Like, I
the
think
RPD
slightly a
was
day
the first
before
place
Resident
Jill
Evil
headed
2.
to, and it was also the first place she encountered the Nemesis.
Yeah, the way they kind of reintroduced him
This
at the
time
beginning
around,
of
though,
the game is kind
it's
of
Carlos
better.
that heads to the RPD, and this sequence now happens after the subway escape. There's a lot of interesting changes to this sequence too. For one, we find out how Marvin got bitten,
Yeah,
why
they
Zombie
I'm glad
Brad
they
wasn't in the
introduced
Resident
that.
Evil 2 remake, And we also now encounter some lickers in the hallways. Perhaps one of the coolest throwbacks here is that the save room music that's played in the dark room is the theme of Resident Evil 2's save rooms, since this station was that game's main setting.
Yeah, it was.
Well, if cameras killed those things, I'd be set.
Before we get to the best and worst change, I do have some honorable mentions. This sewer section that features these new enemies, the Gammas, weren't in the original game, and while brief, they were certainly a cool addition. On the other hand, while it's cool to see this interaction between Jill and Kendo, since they don't meet in the original, it's clear this was done for fan service, since it's a cutscene that doesn't really go anywhere.
Look, don't worry about me. I'm gonna make other arrangements, okay?
You better.
Explain why he was mourning and says, okay, that's
Don't
why.
do anything stupid.
That's why.
Oh, that's your job, right?
That's
Before
still
we
sad what
continue,
happened
be
to
sure
his
to
daughter.
subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to
Then
get
he
notified
committed
about our latest
suicide. That's
videos.
just sad.
You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on
Yeah,
notifications.
no kids yet, but still, that would. Yeah, I don't even want
Number
to think
one,
about it.
worst. Cut content.
Thanks. You saved us.
Yeah, I'm like,
Couldn't let you die.
Is it you?
By far the worst change, and also the biggest criticism to come out of the Resident Evil 3 remake, is the amount of content that was cut from the original. Especially
Yeah,
when
I
compared to
hated
the
that.
Resident
That's
Evil
why
2 remake,
this was
which was able
short.
to preserve or reimagine most of its content. Despite the fact that we could see it from the river, the clock tower section is completely absent, as well as the Raccoon City Park, and the only boss fight that wasn't the Nemesis, the Gravedigger.
were they in a rush? That's why I believe that's why this game is short.
The game is also missing the branching life choice sections, as well as the Mercenaries mode, both of which were what made the original Resident Evil 3 highly replayable to begin with, thus leaving the remake really
I beat the
light
game.
on
I haven't did a
content.
replay yet.
Capcom!
I kind of don't want to, but still, you guys
Number one,
think I should? Let me
best.
know.
Nikolai, not with Umbrella.
Yeah,
Nikolai, what are you doing?
It's not after
I hate Nikolai. I know one
While he's
channel
no
I
longer the
watch.
UBCS commanding officer in the game,
After I
with
beat
that
the
role going
game-
to Mikhail, Nikolai still has selfish and
Yeah, she
ulterior
hates
motives in
Nikolai.
this
For
game.
those you know,
though it turns
Jazzy
out there's
Guns.
someone else
No,
that was
Dwayne Jazz. I
pulling
subscribe to
strings.
them. Shout out.
Don't care.
Yeah.
My client ordered me to reduce
She actually put him on a list of
In the
board.
original, his goal was to wipe
Yeah.
out all other
Shout out to
mercenaries
Jazzy
and
Gun, shout out to
supervisors,
Wayne King. I
to
watch
make
your
it seem like
videos
he was
too.
the only survivor
Pretty
from
cool
a
on
suicide mission, thus in a stronger bargaining position to demand better pay.
I think they.
Since I'll be
I
the
ain't
only
gonna
one
talk
who
more about
knows
this.
what
It's
really
for
happened,
Stricken Resident
I'll
Evil
have
3.
more bargaining power when it comes to discussing my bonus.
While he still turns against the UBCS in the remake for money, we find out that he's working for another party who wants to burn Umbrella to the ground. Considering this unnamed party
I believe
is
it could be the
anti-Umbrella,
organization
it
or
really could
Tricell.
be anyone, friend or foe. Who do you think
It can't be
is?
Los Alumnos Resident Evil 4. It can't be.
I'll tell you if you get me out of here.
No, I'll say right
I'll
now.
pay
I'm
you
out of
whatever
mind
you want.
a little bit to detective work. You ain't leaving this city alive. No matter what you put me through, you die.
You're a fool!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mode.
Hey, that was a pretty cool video. I liked it. So, yeah, this wrong personal feeling. Me, especially the whole railgun. I actually like the railgun, but it kind of, I see they had their own common sense about it, such as using that real life thing will literally shatter your bones. Yeah. Anyway, what you guys think in the comments below, let me know. Especially let me know what video or react to. For those of you who don't know, yes, I do have Final Fantasy VII. Playing it. Love it. Yeah. I believe. Nah, I really don't want to spoil anything. If they make a video about Final Fantasy VII Watch Mojo, or we'll react to it, and we'll continue spoilers, then that's why I'll talk more. I haven't beat the game yet, so yeah. I ain't going to say what part I'm on. Keep it a secret. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you give your boy a like, comment, and subscribe. Have a nice day. Peace.